Welcome. Today we're going to be simplifying expressions. Let's start with this word right here, expression. It's a mathematical sentence that contains no equal sign. Notice none of these have equal signs, so our answers are not going to equal a number. It's still going to be an expression. We're just going to make it look a little bit more simple. Now, we've distributed before. We have combined like terms before, but here we're going to look at a few examples that are a little bit more difficult that we may have some trouble with. Now, remember, I want you to use shapes to help you sort terms. In example number 1, we have 4 different terms. Remember, a term is something that's being added or subtracted. So here's a term, here's a term, here's a term, and here's a term. The terms that are alike are the terms that have the same variable raised to the same power. Here we have a 10x and a negative 3x. And when you use shapes to sort your terms, I want you to put the shape around the symbol in front of the term as well, because that's going to tell you whether it's positive or negative. So we have 10x and a negative 3x. We combine them. It's just like adding or subtracting regular numbers. You look at the numbers in front of the variables, which are called the coefficients. This coefficient is 10. This coefficient is negative 3. It's like in first grade when you had apples. If you have 10 apples, you take away 3 apples, how many apples do you have left? Well, here we have 10 x's. We take away 3 x's, so we have 7 x's left. And then you can combine your integers, plus 8. And this is our final answer. We can't combine the 7 and 8 because they're not like terms. This is as far as we can go. Let's take a look at example number 2. I cannot combine terms yet because I have parentheses, making it look a little bit more difficult. And that's why we like to have simple problems. So, distribute first. Always distribute first. So when we rewrite this, we have 4 plus 2 times a minus 2 times 5, which is 10. Now from here we can combine like terms. 4, negative 10 will give me a negative 6 plus 2a. We cannot combine the negative 6 and 2a because they're not like terms. Example number 3. There are 2 sets of parts that I have to distribute, so let's do that first and then let's see what we can combine. 2 times c plus 2 times 3, which is 6. Now, notice there's a minus sign in front of the 4. Remember when we subtracted integers, it was really plus the negative. This is a negative 4. So when we distribute, this turns into a negative 4c, or you could say minus 4c, and then a negative 4 times 3, which is negative 12. So we have to distribute the subtraction sign with the 4 because this is a negative 4. Now when you combine like terms, you have 2c, negative 4c, which will give you a negative 2c, plus 6, and a minus 12 will get you a minus 6. Let's take a look at example number 4. Again, we have to distribute before we can combine like terms. Negative 3 is being distributed. So when we rewrite, we have 5x plus a negative 3x minus, and then a negative 3 times 2, which is a negative 6. Notice how here we have a negative, and here we have a negative. So in the end, we should end up with a positive 6 at the end. So a negative times a negative is a positive. Or some people like to keep that a subtraction and distribute the negative to make this a negative 6. Either way, you have to make that a plus 6 at the end. So when we combine our like terms, we have 5x, negative 3x, which will give us a 2x, plus 6. And that's how we simplify our expressions. Have a good day.